It's been a little while since I've been live. It's actually been a little while since I've even made a video. I guess I uploaded a video not too long ago, like 5 days ago or so, but really it's been a while. So, not, I guess, as much people are going to be in here right now as there will be later, but whoever has their bongs ready, bowls ready, blunts ready, joints, whatever you smoke, get ready to smoke, because I want to smoke now. So let's smoke. You know I gotta smoke before I start talking and shit. But yeah, it's been an interesting fucking year. What a year. Like, DMT Infinity, what's going on, bro? Says, yo, I was about to shoot the next scene for my music video, but I'm gonna take a smoke and drink break with you. Fuck yeah, bro. DMT Infinity is the one that, every time I don't know, dropped a video, I seen his comment, and he's been, reminding me that I have not been live streaming that often, and that I should get back into it. To be bluntly real with everybody, I guess one of the reasons why I haven't really been live streaming is because I've been tripping hard as fuck. When you trip as hard as I've been tripping lately, it's hard to coherently do things. And it's not whatever. It's just I've been learning, I've been exploring, and I've been growing. And some of these things have required me not to be able to document it as much as I would have liked. But I've learned more than I can even speak about. And I've grown faster than I've ever grown before. And mentally, I'm I don't know. Things are fucking flowing like a river in the middle of a storm. Because they're flowing pretty fast and pretty hard. But yeah. I did an interview with my friend Samina, Quantum Kitty. I'll be on her podcast when she drops that. And there was a lot of good information that I put in that podcast. Things I'm going to save until that podcast drops. I had a mind-blowing DMT experience. Smoked DMT a few times since then. But the mind-blowing DMT experience, I've only had one since I've had DMT again. But eventually I'm gonna get trip reports out for everything. For my first time doing MDMA, um, just some of the LSD experiences I've had, um, the DMT experience. But I talked a lot about my experiences in the podcast I did with Quantum Kitty. So when that drops, then I'll talk more about it. But I kind of want to leave things to have that like be the exclusive, or the first time I talked about the DMT experience with some of these LSD trips that I've had lately. Um, is going to be on that podcast. But I dropped my podcast. Um, DMT Infinity, I want on my podcast. Um, Sound like somebody's knocking on the door. Maybe not. But, but yeah, I don't know. I want to get a few more guests on my podcast. I have a few guests of mine. Um, I just, Quantum Kitty was my first guest on my podcast, so DMT Infinity asks, did you smoke it or vape it, and how many milligrams for your largest DMT experience recently? And in one sentence or one statement, just a teaser trailer, how would you describe it? Okay, I would say, first off, I smoked it in a bong, and I sandwiched it in between weed. Um, and I would say it was anywhere from 30 to 50 milligrams. Um, because I didn't have my milligram scale with me, so I couldn't weigh it. But from based on the type of experience that it was just about that, and it was, I guess, in one sentence, I can describe that DMT experience as it was the first time that I ever met the machine elves that Terrence McKenna talks about. The hundreds of DMT experiences I've met many different types of beings and entities and things that seem like they're conscious of some sort. But in this last DMT experience I had, it was the very first time I've ever seen what Terrence McKenna described as the machine elves. Um, yeah, but that's all I'll say for now. No, you're good. Mysterious Noob Life. What's going on? And what's the machine up? So the machine elves, like little elves. You know what I mean? Like Santa and his little elves, but it's not Santa Claus and his little elves. But the machine elves are what Terrence McKenna talked about when he would smoke DMT. He would usually see these self-transforming machine elves. They're like kind of dribbling basketballs, but they self-transform into like machine elves, and they're like little elves, but because they're self-transforming, they seem machine-like. Um, but that was the first time I've ever seen them. So yeah, and it just reminded me that DMT is so everywhere. It's everything because I've done it, you know, over 500 times, and only one time did I see the machine elves. But that's what Terrence McKenna talked about. You know, it's just very interesting how there's so much in it that we could all do it millions of times. Even our great grandchildren could be smoking DMT millions of times. Then they'll still get more new information out of it because there's so much information in it. It's insane. Mysterious Noob Life asks, "Have you done San Pedro, bro? I am preparing for it." That's fucking beautiful, and no, I have not. That is one of the only psychedelics I have not tried, and I'm so interested in it. Um, Really, the only reason I haven't tried it is pure laziness. Um, just all it's gonna take is for me to put money on a card and order some offline and get it. It's just pure laziness. Tried MDMA over the summer though. That was really really beautiful. Um, but but yeah, when I make it, I'm gonna prepare a tea as well. Um, I'm gonna prepare a strong brew. Yeah. Mysterious New Black says, "I know, right? You can order the pure stuff offline." He says before because kratom pause sucks, so I hear it can be very good for addiction. Kratom withdrawal does suck because I just started using kratom again, right? And I'm trying to be careful with it because I understand kratom withdrawal sucks balls. Uh, but San Pedro, I've heard also can be good for addiction. Um, Honestly, almost every psychedelic for me is good for addiction. Uh, Besides MDMA, which is considered an pathogen, because I would consider that actually highly addictive. But but San Pedro, which contains mescaline, and ibogaine are the only two psychedelics I've not tried that are like I guess on the radar. Besides like the 5-MeO DMT, I've not tried either. What else? I generally think that's it. Mysterious New Life says, "You know the energy loss you have to get to a teaspoon, and tianeptine cures the withdrawals. It's an amazing antidepressant." Now, yes, but tianeptine is highly addictive as well. Um, and tianeptine has some crazy withdrawals as well. The problem with substances like that, um, they're amazing. Like kratom's amazing. I've never tried tianeptine, but I've done so much research on it that it made me never want to try it. Um, but to each his own, you know. See, if you can follow that, I fuck with that. The fact that you say that means that you have your head on straight. You know what you're doing. Because Mysterious New Life says you have to be careful. 3 days on, 3 to 4 days off. Exactly. If you follow the rule of never doing a drug more than 3 days in a row, you're not going to get addicted to it. But that takes mental strength. Not too many people have the mental strength, the mental capability to be able to do that. Um, I don't even know if I have the mental strength to be able to do that with kratom. Like to be bluntly honest with you, that's why I don't really use kratom that often because I used to take kratom every day, 3-4 times a day for like 3 years, and it was amazing though. Kratom's an amazing substance, and I don't want to sound like I'm bashing kratom. It helped me so much. It helps me stay focused, more linear, more business wise, more whatever. Um, but yeah, it is actually physically addictive because I've taken so many different substances. I now know the difference between physically addicted and psychologically addicted substances. Kratom's a substance that your body will crave before you even think about it. MDMA is a substance that your mind will crave before your body ever thinks about it. Type shit. Like, drugs in general, very what's the word? Dangerous, I guess, if you're not careful. Drugs are not for children. That's real shit. You know, because That's real. Because I think
My business on here is drugs is not for children.
no, I think these are generally for adults because you have to. And most adults aren't even adult enough to do drugs. These are like mind altering, chemical changing substances that can generally help you or genuinely harm you. Like that shit's real. 870 Polo, what's going on? DMT Infinity says, sorry, YouTube was messing up and I had to restart my phone. But DMT is everything, literally, yes. It's like whatever higher dimensional manifold chemicals, fuck, thank you, so bad, reacts, sends their feedback loops to, has got to be the source of consciousness. I get what you mean. Like, it is a feedback loop in a sense. It's like the higher dimension is not leaking, projecting, Big Bang expanding something into lower dimensions. And like humans are at this crazy pivotal moment that's has the possibility of us becoming what we're meant to be or falling into oblivion and having to restart. Because yep. Mysterious New Life. I rotate 3.5 days on tea and Neptune and 3.5 on Kratom and keep the Kratom on the weekends. Now I'm on to Neptune. That way I don't withdraw from. What the hell is Neptune?
The planet? Or the god?
I don't know. Is it? But Kratom's this weird thing. Substances like that are weird. Tea and Neptune, Akawama seeds, Kratom, Michigani hirsuta, Michigani javanica, uh, the opium poppy plant, uh, poppy seed tea. These are all opioids. Some of the molecules also are like in some of these different plants attached to different receptors in the body, but they all use the opioid system in one way or another. And and the weird thing is that they all have that same physical withdrawal, so they all must be taken with care. Um, some have more physical withdrawal than others, some are more dangerous than others, but what I've come to realize, if it attaches to the opioid system, it will have a physical withdrawal no matter what, no matter what you do. The H70 Post says trips aren't for kids. You are right. But ask the Native Americans this, and they give at 14 years old, their children are drinking ayahuasca. That's, they live in a different world than us, but I do believe that that's more where we need to get towards soon. We need to get closer to what could be, which I think what generally could be is this unimaginable thing, but there's so much going on that's preventing us from getting to these things. The uneducation version of drugs. How I was just talking to my girl earlier about how, like in school, I probably heard the word dopamine or serotonin once or twice throughout my whole entire high school, right? Like I barely learned about dopamine or serotonin or these systems of the brain or how these things work. Like these are things that I didn't really learn in school. I was also saying how it's weird how they don't. There's a philosophy class in college, but there's no philosophy class in high school. Like humans, we need to expand our consciousness. We need to expand our knowledge. Geek Links, what's going on? Beatrice Kadri says, greetings from France. What's going on? One day I want to go to France. Here's, and Mysterious Noob Life says, Memantine, bro, 60 milligrams. It's a good trip. Stage one, though. It's a drug that has many uses. More increases BDNF and dopamine diseases like dementia, and it makes music amazing. Huh? Never heard of it, bro. But you definitely sparked my interest. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm always interested in new molecules and new substances, as long as it fits into my safety thing. Then I'm good. Because I think with molecules and substances, I think we should have a safety, um, certain protocols or certain regulations that we have for ourselves before we put something into our body. Because I don't really follow the FDA because they have most likely never even taken the drugs that they're making illegal. Um, I trust people who have taken the substances. I trust the science. I trust what receptor it attaches to. I trust the LD50. I trust if it causes DNA damage or not. I trust if it's neuroprotective, if it's damaging to the brain. I trust these are things that if I can research about it and I can find out about it, that's what I trust, and that's what I do before I take a substance. I just like to make sure that the substance, plant or man-made molecule, um, is safe enough for me to ingest, and if it can teach me something or help me with something. I hate I don't like drugs that are meaningless. Like I don't really like using GABA substances. There's a few plants that I will use that attach to the GABA receptors, but like it's just the GABA receptors seem to I don't know, they just don't help me. There's some plants that attach to the GABA receptors that are slightly psychedelic-ish, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that maybe GABA A might be slightly psychedelic-ish, because I know Amanita muscaria attaches to GABA receptors as well, um, in a weird way, like because but I can go on forever about drugs and shit, because in a sense that's just my thing. I research substances and molecules and chemistry and drugs for like years now, and I've just been trying to get to an understanding of what I'm doing to myself, not just mentally, but actually, um, physically and spiritually. Uh, because I've gained so much knowledge and my life is getting easier in a sense. It's getting easier for me to manifest things into my existence. It's getting easier for me to, I don't know, just do what I came here to do. But it's just this weird thing. Geek Link said something that just totally got me up, but that's so real. Said knowledge is an addiction. I agree. I am more addicted to learning than I am to any drug I have ever done. Because and this I don't know, I need to learn. I feel like every day I'd be feeling like I need to learn. Today I just sat down and learned like for hours. I just sat here and learned, listened to podcast after podcast, took in so much information, new information that I didn't know, um, new perspectives, uh, some ideas that went against my ideas. But I think we all need that. We all need to, you know, be able to listen to our own thing and see maybe we could be wrong, you know. DMT Infinity says, but what about me? Why don't I withdraw from Kratom even though most people do? I consume around 50 to 100 grams a day and literally have done it for years slightly. All right, so quit cold turkey on every drug then. All right, so that's now some drugs help with the Kratom withdrawal. Like when I used to quit Kratom, I used to like tether off or quit something or use other things. I'm like smoke a shit ton of weed, dab the fuck out, use psychedelics, something to help like stop the withdrawal in a sense. Psychedelics help a lot, but with kratom, just try an experiment where it's like if you're taking kratom every day for 2 weeks to a month, 3 to 4 times a day, right? Stop cold turkey and don't use any other drug for the next 3 4 days. And like kratom, weed, alcohol. Some people drink green tea. Like use nothing, no coffee. I mean, maybe some coffee if you want, whatever. But like kratom withdrawal is real because the mu opioid receptors, once they're fired off for so long, the body gets physically addicted to the opioid in a sense. They're physically addicting. So they have a flu-like symptom feel. Your body, you'll feel really drained and feel kind of sick, and your bones might hurt a little bit. And it's and it depends on how bad and how strong the kratom is. The worst kratom withdrawal I ever had was taking kratom extract every day for a month straight, and then quitting cold turkey. That was the worst thing ever. But Giggling says try Phenibut. I've looked into Phenibut and I'm just not really interested because I'm not really into benzos. And I know it's not a benzo, but it's kind of like a safe safer version of a benzo. But those have addictions as well. I'm the most irritating thing I found researching drugs is that a lot of the good ones are highly addictive. That's just what I've analyzed, and the ones that are worth it, I'm willing to try. But if it's just not worth it to me, there's no point. Like things like that kind of remind me of gabapentin. Phenibut kind of reminds me of gabapentin, which I've tried that before. When I went through my little pill stage once, I went through a pill stage in the summer of like 2015, and like tried a shit ton of like pharmaceutical drugs in a sense. Um, and I didn't really like any of them. Um, I did, but I didn't. I did because I was a lot more ego back then. I was a lot more not the me I am today back then. So back then I liked it because it helped me escape. Volume, Xanax, fucking gabapentin, Lyrica, uh, the opioids like Percocet, Vicodin, um, things like that. That's kind of what I tried. I also experimented with SSRIs like Celexa and a few other things. Um, but what I found about those drugs is they're all soul sucking, numbing, blah things. I don't know. They have no soul to them. Like they're so anti something. I don't know. They work. And don't get me wrong, they get you high, and yes, they can make you feel good, whatever kind of, or hard to explain. But if I was to compare, all the opioids, I would say kratom generally is one of the best feeling ones I've ever tried. And that's not just because I'm like, oh yes, kratom, but genuinely, like I don't know. I accidentally tried heroin or fentanyl one time. I don't know which one. Either it was heroin or fentanyl, and I thought it was Vicodin. But even that, all that did was fuck me up so hard. I was straight in the doze off stage and like couldn't. It was so hard to stay awake type shit. Um, but even that, the opioid body feeling of that, personally to me, wasn't as good as the kratom feeling to me. I genuinely prefer the kratom feeling. Um, but that's kind of why I'm like, well, I shouldn't use kratom that often because I used it for 3 years and I feel like I got what I needed out of it in a sense. And I started my business while I was on kratom. It helped me like just build and be more business like and be more linear. Um, because I'm a very psychedelic type of person, and psychedelic and business does not mix whatsoever. Uh, so it's this weird thing where it just helped me be more of a business type mindset where that's where I needed to be. But now I don't need any substance to be me anymore. I feel like I've just grown so much into the man I was meant to be that like I generally don't even really need to smoke weed anymore. I do, but I don't really need to. I don't like it's the same thing with kratom at this point. I use it because I can. I don't need to anymore. Even if I get addicted to it again, I would just stop using it. Um, the one thing I have been using a lot, I guess, is LSD. I have been tripping hard as a motherfucker. Um, the longest break I've had since the summer has began, since the summer of 2020, right? Since the summer is over, but it's probably like a week and a half, or maybe 2 weeks. You know, maybe, but I've in a sense, had a plant diet with LSD and learned a lot from it and explored and expanded my consciousness, learned a lot about myself and what I want to be and who I want to be and what is generally possible. Because I'm about to do things that I generally didn't even think were fucking possible. So many things have happened where I just had no idea they could happen. I didn't know the universe had my back as much as it does, but it genuinely does, which is fucking amazing. And like I said, I could talk about drugs forever, but you're right. DMT Infinity says the psychedelics are for information addicts. Agreed. Because every psychedelic trip you have, you're gonna learn something. Mysterious Noob Life says Fenibut just makes me loopy. Sucks for me. Good for some though. I guess that's why I was like, I just kind of have no interest in trying things like that because I know what the GABA type drugs do. They kind of just make you loopy, and I have no interest in being loopy or ditzy or uh, whatever word you want to call it. I just have an interest in expanding my consciousness and becoming the best me I can be. Because if, in my personal opinion, even when I'm using drugs to have fun, right, I could be having the wildest fun of my life. Just partying, dancing, tripping balls, having fun. But I'm still learning. I'm still growing. There's still something that I'm doing that I can't explain in English. Um, but it's a lot more than just a drug. I have a different intention with substances. But yeah. Mysterious Noob Life says, Sam Pager report if you can, bro. They barely catch this at shops. Once I do Sam Pager, I'm definitely going to do a report and a bunch of things. I have a bunch of reports to do on MDMA and all these other substances I've done over the summer. Geeklink says I rolled on Molly, literally streamed and researched for 7 hours straight yesterday. Fuck yeah, bro. Kind of wish I had some Molly right now. Molly's one of those things. Beautiful substance, definitely addictive. Um, but I was grateful that I got to try it over the summer, though. I guess I'm just grateful that I'm able to do what I'm able to do in my life today. And every time I do a substance, a psychedelic, anything, I generally think it in my head because I'm genuinely like just grateful to be able to have the experiences that I have in my life. And sometimes it's so hilarious as human beings. We'll be sitting here like, we hate life, like fuck our life. When shit doesn't go right, we'll be like, yo, fuck this shit, and yada yada yada. But like, I fucking love life as much as I sometimes just say I hate life. If I was able to analyze my life, I'd be like, yo, bro, life is great. Like, if the me 5 years ago could look at me today, he'd be like, yo, what the fuck, bro? I can't wait till I get there. DMT Infinity says, heroin, crack, pills, meth, etc. are demons. Probably. That's why I'm gonna stay away from every last one of them. Mm-hmm. Geeklink says, why would you want to get high off of SSRIs? Like, serotonin syndrome is no joke. Was shit, literally everything had dull, my brain. Um, I've been there, though. Like, in 2015, I was trying to get high off of SSRIs. But I could have died, like, because I was taking SSRIs, mixing it with Valium, some weed, some Percocet. Uh, I was being an idiot, and this is before I was educated on drugs. In 2015, I didn't really know much about receptors or which molecule attached to which or whatever. Like, I just knew it made you feel something. I just knew it got you high. And I just like broke up with the mother of my daughter, and I was with her for 5. It was just this weird transition in my life. So I was just like, yeah, fuck it. I'll just do whatever I want to do or whatever. And, you know, but here I am, years later, much smarter. Geeklink says, I've stopped abusing substances and started using them as tools. That's good. And sometimes it's the intention. It's not the how much you're using it. Because some people would look at me and say, hey, you abuse LSD because I use it so often. But I'm using it as a tool to become the man I was meant to be a lot faster because I don't have time to wait until I'm 50 years old to become wise. Uh, I realize the world we're in today, we don't have time to wait until we're 50 to say, now we're wise. Now we've made enough mistakes. Now we get it. Like, no, we need to get this shit now. We don't have time. The world doesn't have time. Our kids don't have time. We're running out of time. We need to wake the fuck up. Like, genuinely. So, like, that's kind of why these tools are here. These tools are here to help us wake up. And if we would have been continuously using these tools as a human race, as a human society, like the Native Americans continuously used them, um, I think we'd be better off as a society and the planet would be today. But we can't go back in time. We can't fix things. All we can do is think about where we're headed towards and what we're about to do. Because, man, equipped yourself with knowledge. It's not about equipping yourself with money. It's about equipping yourself with the ability of what the fuck to do with money. It's not about equipping yourself with things. It's about equipping yourself with knowledge of things. Like, I've generally come to the understanding that you can't help a damn soul. You can tell someone what book you got the information from. It's up to them to read the book. So, like, that's kind of where I've been at lately. And that's kind of why I haven't really been making as many videos or whatever. I've just been so busy learning and exploring and being and living my life, living my journey. I'm walking the path that, like, you know, I figured within the next 6 months to a year, I'll be in a completely different life. You know, soon, be in a completely different house. Soon, be in a completely different, just, I don't know, things are different. Things are different because the LSD forced me to look at my thoughts and forced me to evolve faster, to think differently faster. The faster you change your mind, the faster you'll change your life. But DMT Infinity says, I'm so grateful that when I was a kid, I hated parties, clubs, raves, and bars because while my friends were out doing all that, I was in nature and inside my room, going as deep as I possibly could into the THC and psychedelic realms, growing and learning, evolving, and becoming the best possible version of myself. Exactly. That's kind of what I'm doing too. Because I'm only 26 years old. So, like, getting old, but still very young. And this is just an interesting time because as I'm learning from all these psychedelics and substances and things, I'm not out partying. I don't drink alcohol whatsoever. Um, I don't really like to party in a sense, but I do. I mean, if I hosted the party, like if there was a party at my house, if I hosted I might be tripping balls and maybe dancing with the frequencies and shit, But that's just my version of partying is more me being me, which is a little more, the soul likes to be free. The soul loves to sing and dance. The soul doesn't want to really do these human shit that we force it to do. It'd rather just sit there and vibe and dance to music and get high. That's why we do these things. but but yeah, it's about balance. So I mean that's what I've been learning the most doing these substances is it's about balance. As much as I've been tripping as hard as fuck, I can't trip this hard as fuck for much longer type shit. It's not that I need to take a break, but I need to balance it more and say, okay, the business needs to get done, then trip. Or, don't trip and then attempt to do business the next day type shit. Or, just certain things that I need to settle with myself. Don't smoke too much before you got something to do because then you might not be able to do it as well as you want to. Uh, Little things like this are just things I'm trying to equip in my mind to help me be the best me I can be, I guess. 870 Polo says introverse versus extrovert. Uh, I don't know if that's a question, if you're asking me. But I would say that I am both an introvert and an extrovert, if it's a question. Um, because I love time to myself. I can sit here with me and my girl and just be the happiest man alive. Like, but the problem, but the problem is, I also love to talk, right? So I'm extroverted because I can walk outside and genuinely talk to a stranger, anybody, about their life. I can sit here and communicate just like I'm communicating now and talk and vibe and just it doesn't matter who it is or whatever. Uh, so I'm very extroverted in that aspect where I can spark up a conversation with anybody. I'm not shy. I'm not. I don't have social anxiety or anything like that. I don't have any anxiety whatsoever. I don't have anxiety at all. Um, so like, it's just a balance of I can be extroverted, but I prefer to be introverted. A7 Pill says kratom and alcohol extracts. I used to make kratom extracts with alcohol. I'd take isopropyl alcohol, run it through some kratom, um, and then as it would run through, let it sit for a little bit, and then evaporate the alcohol away, and you're left with the kratom extract. And I would take that and some kratom leaf, and I'd make a 50-50 blend, 50% the kratom extract and 50% the kratom leaf, and then make a blend. And then I would take like 2 to 3 grams of that 50-50 blend, and I'd be, in a sense, fucked up, for lack of a better word. But I was taking things like that for like a month, and that was the worst kratom withdrawal I've ever had. Um, but but it was a good experience, good learning experiences. DMT Infinity says, "This is exactly why I think you shouldn't only consume and that you shouldn't only produce. An artist must balance both simultaneously. That is why I'm almost always both consuming and producing art at the exact same time." Fuck yeah. I guess I feel you on that because lately I have been producing. I've been retweaking a song of mine. The song I'm gonna drop called "Traveling." I've just been re-editing and kind of tweaking certain things on it and mastering, and I'm gonna drop that eventually. I want to make a video for it and drop that. But I've been working on that for the past like 3-4 days, and as much as it seems like I'm not producing, I'm still working on things behind closed doors, I guess. I'm just not documenting. There's videos that I have that I need to upload. Um, like, as little as this, as weird as this sounds, it's so hard for me to take pictures for Instagram. But lately I've been trying to take pictures for Instagram. And it's so funny that, like, I could sit here and talk for days, make a video for days. I could sit here for hours, like literally sit here for 5, 6, 8, 10 hours and talk, smoke, maybe let me get some food, get something to drink. But to take a picture and to put it on Instagram for me is hard. I don't know why, but it just is. Pictures are not my forte. I just prefer to get my thoughts out. Um, because I guess I just know that I'm in here, not right here. So it's like this thing where that's why I fell in love with making videos because I could document my consciousness. I could document me. A lot of people, all they're gonna have are pictures of themselves. Like when you think about it, when you think about your loved ones, you that have passed away, a lot of times you only have pictures of them. One of the main reasons I started my YouTube channel was because I had a cancer scare. So I thought it was related to a death thing. So I was like, well, I want me to be documented, not just pictures of me. Um, about my experiences and what I've gone through and what I've learned and who I am. And um, and I generally think that that's why when I first started making videos, I was on this whole kick where I was like, everyone should make videos. Like everyone, I was telling everyone that I know, like you should make a YouTube channel. You should make a YouTube channel. You should make one, and you should make one. And because I had this weird thing where I was like, well, you should document yourself because you'll feel better at the end when you did. Um, you know, I had this thought talking to my girlfriend with a similar thing. It was about pictures, but it was about how like girls take like sexy photos in a sense, right? But girls taking sexy photos isn't bad because if they don't, let me tell you, they'll most likely regret it when they get older. When a woman is like 80 years old and she gets to look back, she might regret not taking that sexy photo that she wanted to take just because. And then it's going to be like, it's this weird thing where you should be able to document yourself of where you were and where you're going. Um, yeah, because I'm more on the thing of documenting instead of making content. I don't know if I make content as much as I just document what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what I'm going through, and my experiences. And yeah, BB says, "Hello, when's the best time to start a live stream chat?" I have no idea. I just usually start a live stream chat when I'm free. Let's see. Where do you see yourself in 6 years or something? Um, I don't know. I have a 10-year goal that I made when I was 25. So my 10-year goal is that all these things I'm trying to do are accomplished. So I have one online business that I'm trying to relaunch, but I want three. Um, I have two books that are half done, uh, and I have a few other things, projects that I'm doing and working on. My 10-year project technically was in 10 years. I wanted all of that accomplished. I wanted 3 to 4 online businesses, two books done. Um, like I have a few documentary ideas I want done, some music ideas I want done. I want an EP out, things like this. And this was my 10-year thing. What I'm starting to realize is I'm most likely going to get it done before I'm 30. Uh, that's, in a sense, my new goal. I'm still going to keep the 10-year thing, but by the time I'm 30, it's 4 years away. So I take it 4 years from now, I should be good. All this, because this virus, this coronavirus, all this thing did was help me. It helped me tremendously. And I'm sorry, it's a real shit that's fucking the world up, I guess. But there was a lot of humans built their wealth during the Great Depression, and right now I'm building my wealth during the 2020 coronavirus, problem here, and and not just building my wealth, but it's wealth of mind. I'm building my knowledge. I sat down and took this time to learn more than ever about where the world is going to go, because if you prepared for the world, in 2016, and you thought the world would be the same as it was in 2016 and 2020, then You prepared for a false world that never even came to be. So I'm trying to prepare myself for the actual world that's actually going to be. Because the actual world that's actually about to be is going to be different than the world we've all lived in. So I'm trying to find ways to use this as opportunity of growth, an opportunity for me to start building something. And that's kind of what I've been doing. I've just been building and building and building and waiting and waiting, waiting for the right moment. You have to wait for the right moment to strike. If you strike at the wrong moment, you're gonna slip and fall and fuck up. And that's what I did the first time I started my business. I struck at the wrong moment, and I was unprepared with knowledge and unprepared with just what I had to do, and I didn't realize how hard it was gonna be. But now I get it. The point of life is to never give up. And if you can last longer than the person that's trying to do the same thing you're trying to do, you'll do the thing that they were trying to do. All you have to do is outlast everybody else. Do not stop. That's the fun. I'm never going to stop. I have infinite amount of energy, infinite amount of potential, infinite amount of possibilities. But there's only a few possibilities in my head, and those are the ones I'm chasing. And I just get it now. I get, you know, all these things. Like I was watching this podcast last night where somebody was talking about they helped with The Secret or something like that. And I don't know if you ever heard of The Secret. It was a documentary based on like thoughts create reality type shit, whatever. And they were saying that she ended up like being unhappy and like didn't get what she really wanted or whatever, whatever. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, it's because your thoughts. How the fuck are you the one that helped kind of whatever, whatever, and you are. It's basic. Thoughts create reality. As soon as you doubt yourself, that's when you fucked it all up. If you had 10 years worth of great work and you were about to reach your dreams and you had 1 second of fucking doubt, that 1 second of doubt will fuck up that whole 10 years. That's why I do not allow humans to fuck up the way I think. I do. I'm very uh, iffy about who I allow myself to be around. I don't have many friends because I don't want to be around somebody who can bring me down. All I'm trying to be is the best me I can be, and if you are not trying to do something similar, then I'm not trying to be a dick. But in a sense, I really don't want to be around you, because we have to value our mind. We have to value us. It's not being rude. It's not being a dick. It's not being whatever. It is that you value yourself. And that means you fucking love yourself. And I'm sorry. I fucking love myself. So what I've come to realize is like, when you truly love yourself, you watch what you put in your body, drug wise, food wise. You stay healthy. You watch who you're around. You stay educated. You because you want yourself to be in charge of yourself. You want to feel good. You want to be happy. You want like I don't know. It's just sometimes this weird thing. And like DMT Infinity says, loving yourself isn't selfish. Exactly. And it's not, but it sounds selfish. But the most selfish thing is humans. Most humans are so selfish that they refuse to love themselves. Mind blowing. But I don't know. I love myself so much that I'm gonna work myself to death. So in my 30s, I can live a little bit more of the dreams that I have imagined. I guess humans don't love themselves enough. They don't. It's like I watched Will Smith talk about self-discipline is self-love. When you are self-disciplined, you are self-loved. And so it's like when you're disciplining yourself to be like, no, I'm not gonna do that, or I'm not gonna, I don't know. Someone who's on a diet would say, no, I'm not gonna eat that cake. Someone who, for me, it's like, no, I'm not gonna sit down and watch Netflix. I'm gonna sit down and work on a beat instead. Um, and then I'll watch Netflix. It's, things like that. Self discipline for me is partying after the work is done, not partying before the work is done. And the funny part about me, my life is luckily sometimes the party is the work.
I'm waiting for you to hit it.
Oh, okay. Oh man. I don't know. I guess that's also why I trip as much as I do. Because I love myself. And I don't give a fuck about other people's opinions of myself. Right? Because I'm not going to do something that they tell me to do because it might make me miserable. And I've tried so many different things. I know what's going to make me miserable. I've tried different diets, different lifestyles, different way of being, different um, jobs and habits. I just quit my job. I quit my job like 2 weeks ago. Um, like I'm starting to understand that everyone around you will try to influence you, but it's you that has to influence you. You, you know? At the end of the day, you have to protect your mind to the point where it's your voice in your head, not someone else's. And you have to be careful because sometimes we don't know if it's our voice or if it's someone else's. Someone else could have put those thoughts in your head. How do you know? You know? It's just the way the world is. But I'm gonna hit this bong and get up out of here, guys. Thank you all for joining in, and I will see you guys in the next live stream. Much love, everybody.